Looking back over your life and all that you've accomplished, you grew up in foster care,
yes,
on a farm. Did you ever believe for one moment that you would make it here?
Well, it's fitting that you're asking me this question because May is National Foster Care Awareness Month, as you know. I didn't have a destination then in my mind as a child, what child does, but I still don't have that destination for myself as an adult woman. I believe in anything is possible, and so with that spirit, I didn't see any barriers because my foster mother, Agatha Armstead, was so brilliant, so inspiring. She was a pianist, she was a designer, she was a gardener, she was a horticulturalist, she was 2 generations out of slavery. And so this was a woman who was a grandmotherly age, born in 1902, who had 10 children of her own grown, me being her second family, and she just said, Vicki, just be yourself, have faith, everything's gonna be all right. Okay, let's practice those 6 rudimentary steps of classical ballet I have for you in this book while I play the piano. So it was like anything was possible because she was magic. Mentoring is real.
It makes the difference.
Yes.
And all of us can be involved in fostering the next generation.
Absolutely. Whether it's being a bona fide foster parent through Health and Human Services, your local Department of Children and Family Services, whether you're a guardian ad litem, whether you become a court-appointed special advocate through CASA, pick up the phone, Google. There are a multitude of agencies that would love to have the communion with the public. We even have respite care. People say, well, Vicki, what's respite care? And respite care is weekend care to a foster child or sibling group so that the primary foster parents can take a break. Because foster care is a lot of work. Let us not look at this through rose-colored glass. It is a lot of work. It is a commitment. But court-appointed special advocates, guardian ad litems, that's a great way to be involved, where you basically are representing a foster youth in court, and the courts are beleaguered. We have typically 500,000 children in foster care, and that doesn't include children that are on the southern border. So we have to remember there's a great need, and everyone, as you say, has an opportunity to foster in their own way.
And also she fostered your gift of ballet at a very young age, and it just opened the door to all the rest.
Yes. She was undeterred by, although I had 2 incredible social workers who I remain in touch with, Linda Webb and Patrick Moynihan. A child doesn't forget those people who made a difference, who were their fortresses. And so with my foster mother, Agatha Armstead, and especially Linda Webb, they made a way out of no way. And where we get a purchase order once a year to buy your coat, your underclothes, your socks. There's a list of how many articles of clothing. It's called a purchase order. And we'd go to JCPenney, shout out, endorsement. No, but JCPenney was where we took our purchase orders to get our annual allocation of clothing. And so my foster mother and my social worker, Linda Webb, hatched a plan. Let's see if we can get ballet slippers included, because Agatha Armstead was a senior citizen. She couldn't afford the accoutrement for classical ballet. It's very expensive. Point shoes and ballet slippers and leotard and tights and all the wraparound. And so my social worker, Linda Webb, went to her supervisor in Maine and said, Vicki needs these things. And they said, well, this is just a hobby for a child. We don't do that. We couldn't even go to college when I was in foster care. That was not an option. So this ballet opportunity for me, winning the scholarship at the Cambridge School of Ballet and later with American Ballet Theatre School, where I'm still in touch, proud alum, was my college. And Agatha knew it, and my social workers knew this was going to be my gateway to a monetizable future with integrity. So she went to her supervisor and said, we need to have these purchase orders for Capezio ballet slippers. And of course, she was laughed out the room. She was told no and no again, but she eventually convinced her supervisor that this was not a hobby. This was a real conviction in this child. And he took a chance, and she took a chance with her job. And then she took some money out of her purse and gave it to me so that I had an extra when I won the scholarship, so I could travel back and visit my foster mother, because obviously I was homesick. And that definitely wasn't in the budget for the Department of Children and Family Services for that kind of wraparound service. Today it's changed, thank God. So many things have been elevated for foster youth. But that was a long-winded answer, but I think you deserve to know that these were the types of challenges that we were faced with. But as a child, when you're seeing people sacrifice and work for you, because my foster mother kept me tethered to all the happenings so that this wasn't some fantasy in my life. She said, Vicki, the world breaks down in black and white. This is what we're up against. I had to be part and parcel, do my part. She was a great, great letter writer. And so she had me sit down and I had to write letters and letters of gratitude. This was not something that was given to me. And so she understood that she had to also simultaneously break the cycle. And I say this today to foster youth and foster adults out there, that nothing is for free. And because there is a monetary sum attached to your name, one can become privileged thinking. What's in it for me? When you emancipate out of foster care at 18 typically, where's the check? No, once you emancipate, those services typically end. Yes, we have we have extended services now. We have extended it to age 24 now, services based upon collegiate application and other services. But Agatha knew early on how she had to plant that seed, that you must break away from this welfare system. It is a welfare system. And you have to break not only this cycle, but other cycles. And I'm so grateful to her. I think of her every single day of my life. How? She said, never ask why. But I just asked God, how was I so fortunate?
Yeah, because we know that that made the difference. There are people who never see a foster home, or they're always in foster care, but they don't have a loving parent in there to teach them and nurture them. And she was that for you. So I do believe she was God sent. Both ways. It goes both ways. You to her, her to you. And it's beautiful. What I love about you is that you truly are a Renaissance woman. It's like how, she's one of God's favorites. You have so many talents and you do them all at the highest level.
I try.
So when you think of your career, do you have a favorite talent? What fills you up the most?
Well, it's a collective, because an artist is an artist is an artist. So I love gardening. I love nature. It is medicinal. I love walking. I love dancing, obviously. I love acting, and I love directing and produce quite a bit, and wrapping up a script right now, a Christmas thriller, cross genre.
A Christmas thriller.
Yes.
Okay, I'm here for this.
Yes, yes.
I'm here for this.
And so I'm writing and I will direct that. And I love the communion with my cast and Jason's lyric. To travel across the country with this impeccable cast and crew, to see the country. I come from bus and truck as a former professional ballet dancer. With American Ballet Theater's repertory company, and other companies, Ballet Hispanico and others, and to see the country again 30 years after I left that career, it is an absolute miracle. Grateful for my instrument, that everything works. I'm still dancing. I dance in Jason's lyric today. Health and fitness, but from the top of the head to the tip of the toe. We have to remember to take care of ourselves from the top of our heads to the tip of our toes, not from the neck down. If something doesn't feel right, listen to yourself. Take care of yourself. So I love all of what I do. I do not take it for granted. I do not do it alone. I'm flanked by the women who raised me. I'm certain of it.
Yeah. And it's so funny, you took me into my next, and I love the title, The Women Who Raised Me. I was at an event just the other day with former First Lady Michelle Obama. She was moderating a panel with Tina Knowles, Beyonce Solange's mother, of course, on her new book, Matriarch. And they were talking about how even if you have a nuclear family, you always need bonus moms, bonus dads. We can't do this life alone, right? And it brought me back to your book, too, that you have created a village, right? Yes. So we are in this Mother's Day weekend, and there are many women who only feel appreciated and recognized on Mother's Day. And, you know, and they have it a hard time. What are your words of encouragement to women who are mothering, whether they're mothering their biological children or it's a different setup, to kind of encourage them to keep doing what they do?
Wow. Well, I'm a mother of 2 grown children, Maya and Jasper, who I'm so very proud of. I raised them pretty much by myself. And I was working 2 jobs. I was working on Young and the Restless and Diagnosis Murder and doing films in between, commercials, and running a charity for foster youth. We are multitaskers, women, and we have to have the persona of having it all together all the time and lead with grace. It is hard being a mother. It is hard being a mother that is also a working mother. It is hard to show up at the soccer games, the basketball games, to be there for your teacher conferences, to be on the job fully. And so my advice is you have to take a breath. You have to understand the power of the word no. You have to be unpopular sometimes to take care of you. It's very important to surround yourself with your friends. There are professional friends. You have to understand this. There are professional friends, and there are your childhood friends. There are your college friends, if you have them. You have to understand where the balance of those powers lie. You can't expect one friend to lift you in times of challenges. That's why you have a bouquet of friends, I call it.
Ah, I love that, a bouquet of friends.
Bouquet of friends. So you're not going to put everything on Patty. You're not going to put everything on Laura. You're not going to put everything on Scott. You're not going to put everything on Cheryl. You're going to reach out and have the therapeutic tools as well, the professional therapeutic tools. You can't expect your dentist to be your heart surgeon, God forbid. So be clear on that. And I also want to say, friendship, motherhood, the sustainability of motherhood needs to be reciprocal. You can't keep asking, and this goes for the men too, raising children, because it's their day too, that are in single parent families. Mm-hmm. But you cannot reach and grab and need over and over. You have to give back to that bounty that gives back to you. So that is my advice to my mothers, my fellow mothers, my mothers to be, and the mothers that are the aunties and the teachers, because teachers are no longer just teachers. Teachers are therapists. Teachers are PD, teachers are mothers and fathers, so shout out to our teachers out there.
My sister's a teacher, and she's like, I have 24 children,
Yes.
you know, including my nephew, August.
Wonderful.
I want to talk now about the legend that you are in television and film, and how so many came to know and love you through Drusilla on Young and the Restless. Now that you've gone through that experience, what's the biggest takeaway of why it made it so professionally and pivotally memorable for you?
Two things. The audience. This lasting audience that puts me on the New York Times bestseller list with The Women Who Raised Me, that helps sell out theaters for Jason's Lyric, that follows me loyally throughout my career. And I meet every request, from the bathroom attendant that says, aren't you? Can I get? It's always a yes with me. It's always a yes. From the Uber driver to the flight attendant who told me my mother learned how to speak English watching you on television. From the people in India, from the people across this globe, people who stopped me from the Congo at DCA. That means so much to me, and it's always heartbreaking when people tell me, my mother used to watch you, no longer here. But I say to all of those people, I say, without you, I don't have a career. So next time someone thinks and says, oh, I don't have time for pictures, they need to remember, without your audience, you don't have a career.
You're nothing.
Don't have it. So there's that. And with The Young and the Restless particularly, it was an opportunity. You think things are being done to you, they're being done for you. Instead of being, woe is me, get to the wow is me. I realized it was bigger than me. Drusilla, the character of Drusilla, was transformational, sure. You know, she was illiterate, she was living on the street, she pulled herself up, she had the adult literacy storyline, she had the classical ballet storyline, she had the foster care adoption storyline, all three of which I requested. But I realized it was so much bigger than just performing. I had to look behind the scenes and see what wasn't happening for people that looked like me or didn't look like me, but where there was a true understanding of what America looks like behind the camera. And so I got busy with that as well. And I successfully brought about effective change, which I believe has led to Beyond the Gates today, a new soap opera with the head writer, Michelle Valjean, as a result, who was hired onto Bold and the Beautiful after the National Urban League, Mark Morial and I, pushed for the first Black writer on Young and the Restless after a 37-year blog. So I'm very proud of that work. A little girl from a farm, dirt road in Maine, high school educated, by tremendous women of all socioeconomic strata. I'm very grateful.
My mom is a huge fan. I am too. She's a huge fan of yours. And I can remember seeing you on the screen, because at the time, I think today sometimes we take it for granted, you didn't see a lot of Black women,
right, especially
in prominent positions, whether it was the news, film, whatever. And I remember looking at you, I was a kid at the time, going, oh my gosh, she's like me. Yes. And so when you see Black women, women of color in particular, who look at you today and say, you know what, Victoria, you showed me what's possible. Yes. What does that mean?
You see me. There are no words. It's a feeling when young women, young successful women like yourself, you're the next generation, who are doing it so brilliantly, executing your job with a plume and a professionalism. It makes me proud. That's why I asked you, how many years? I asked your producer, Chanel, how many years? I asked cameramen, how many years? And women. I ask as many people as I can ask when I see them in the spaces that I have worked and continue to work. How long have you been here? What is your tenure? It makes me so proud. It makes me feel like maybe I had some small part in moving the needle.
A major part, a major part in breaking those glass ceilings. We're still breaking them, but you did a huge chunk of the work.
And might I, I'm sorry, Marissa, but
Yes.
might I add, because I'm a curious person and I had to educate myself beyond high school, I love statistics and different things that come out of 18 years in foster care and filling the gap. And so one of the things was I made it my business to understand who were the consumer viewers of the shows that I was on. He was like, my God, what are you doing? And people would say to me at CBS, for example, Vicki, you are the only actor that knows where HR is. Well, people are asking, what does HR stand for? I knew who the head of the carpentry department. I mean, I was just, I'm a curious person. But I really wanted to know, you know, who made things run and who made it possible for me to walk through the doors of these studios, not only CBS, but many, many studios, to work with a Sam Jackson, to work with a Eddie Murphy, to work with a Jim Carrey. I mean, and it continues. I mean, I'm working with one of the Bear stars, the series The Bear, right now, Edwin Lee Gibson. He's the director and writer of a movie I'm in. The acronym is APARD. And so we're still filming in Arizona. I play a very sinister character.
Oh, juicy.
Oh my God, but it's so much fun. But what I want to say to that is Young and the Restless gave me a foothold, but I wanted to study who was behind that soap opera that looked at me over its vast history of over 50 years. And I found in the industry Atal that sold soap starting in 1934 on radio, Oxydol soap, I found the names Ruby Dee and Ossie Davis and Morgan Freeman. I found Tashina Arnold, and I found so many actors who made it possible, who were there before me. Debbie Morgan and Vanessa Bell Calloway and names Ellen Hawley, Brock Peters, To Kill a Mockingbird.
Wow.
I mean, he was on Young and the Restless. I'm like, why aren't we celebrating this history? So I celebrated. I remember how it was and remains that I was able to walk through those doors and work in daytime drama.
That's incredible. And you talk about, you know, the trails that have been blazed, and you've done it as well. Just recently, you celebrated Miss Cheryl Lee Ralph's Hollywood star in the Walk of Fame. How was that for, because it's an incredible sisterhood, too.
Yes, yes. Our friendship goes back over 30 years. I think I'm Jamaican in spirit.
And you are.
She has claimed me as a Jamaican sister. My niece just married her son. We are now officially family. Last year, Stephanie Wash, major ABC producer, journalist. Yes, ABC, I'm just going to say it.
Wow.
And she married Etienne Marisse, who is an entrepreneur, Walk Good LA. He's also an actor. And so anyway, our history goes back. And going back to friendships and being able to lean in, but know when to lean out, respecting each other's privacy. I was one of her bridesmaids. I mean, of course I'm gonna be there with other friends. I mean, Loretta Devine was there and Jennifer Lewis and Brandy Evans, many more. We was just so very proud of her. And she is just a North Star, someone who was a star decades ago on Broadway with dream girls. And I was a ballet dancer at the time, didn't know her. But then to meet her in Hollywood and to befriend her and she to befriend me, and then to celebrate each other. Because she's a big celebrator of others.
And most people aren't that way. That's the thing.
Say it. And she shares her success. So I saw her rocking out with Beyonce. I saw
she was getting it at Cowboy Carter.
She got her cowboy in. Yeah, I love her. And I knew her mother, Miss Ivy. She has a great family. I know her brothers. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I always end this segment with a question, and I'll pose it to you. Since this is called Motivation with Marissa, Miss Victoria Rowell, what is motivating you these days?
Getting older. Getting older. Turning 66 on May 10th.
66, where
66.
I don't see 66. Where's it?
Uh-huh.
What?
66.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Getting older, embracing age, my hot yoga classes, my walks around the reservoir, no less than 3 miles, thank you. Getting my ginger shots in, eating my kale. You know, I'm a pescatarian, loving life, loving the people I choose to love. Got to get rid of dead weight. And doing things that make me happy.
Amen.
Thrifting, goodwill.
I love to thrift.
Oh, high five.
We should thrift next time.
Oh, listen, there's an amazing consignment shop here in D.C.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, I'm going to share it with you.
Okay, Unique Thrift is my favorite. It's not a consignment, but it's a thrift store. You can find some really nice new stuff in there, too.
Always thrifting,
Yes.
packing boxes, sending home. We have to recycle, especially in this day and age. Recycle, people, what? It's all there. So that's what I'm doing these days.
That's what's motivating you. Listen, it's been a pleasure. I think you're spectacular. I consider us the lucky ones to even breathe your air today. So just keep glowing. Keep glowing in this season of life. And happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
I know you love Maya and Jasper
Yes,
with all
I
your
do.
heart.
All of it. And happy Mother's Day to all of our mothers out there. I mean, what a blessing to be a mother. And I'm speaking to all mothers. One does not have to be of one's bone and one's blood to be loved and to love back.
Wow, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.